Disclaimer, if you aren't into gore or discussing subject matter that can ruin your day, this probably isn't the video for you. It's that time of year again where kids and teens all across America get to become a slave to the corrupt and broken system of education. So before I and many other of you get to become mentally drained and depressed vessels of our former selves, why not squeeze one last video out before summer ends? Project G-1 is on the menu tonight, and holy shit, it is spicy. I talked about Shed 17 half a year ago, and it is by far my most successful video. Madagascar, the video game, which is in second place, hasn't even broken 300 views yet, while Shed 17 is on its way to get its 40,000th. At least by the time I'm writing this, it probably already has. For all you people who watched that video, or hell, even watched any video, and decided that my content was worth it, thank you, it means a lot. Now go watch my Doom video. Okay, so as I mentioned, Project G-1 is the sequel to the best creepypasta the world's ever seen, that being Shed 17. Released in 2018, almost 3 years after Shed 17, this video came out to the scene and shook all the little tykes off the internet once again, as well as all the people who are nostalgic to the Thomas brand.
Like me.
Even more disgusting, even more violent. Can Project G-1 top the original? It's a hard feat to cross, I'd imagine. So what the hell am I doing? Let's finally dig ourselves into this absolute cream. And again, be sure you're all caught up on Shed 17 lore. And spoiler warning, I really recommend that you watch Project G-1 before getting into this video. I don't want this video to become an alternative to that video, but rather just more of like supplementary content, or me just giving my own takes on the situation. Well, whatever. Let's finally get into Project G-1. Remember when they had Nazis in the first one? Oh, that was pretty funny. Damn, that scared the hell out of me, not gonna lie. So here we are in the year 1983, and it looks like someone's going into Shed 17 with an admittedly dope-ass title card as Thomas's old body is seen in the back. Picks up where we left off, and holy shit, it's a fetus, shoot it down! We then get to the aftermath of Shed 17, the documentary itself. Yeah, that's kinda funny. It seems that Shed 17 really f***ed up some people, and rightfully so. A lot of them drew down what scared them or just memorized every single line of dialogue the program had to offer. I mean, come on, that takes talent. And it seems like Sodor has become a ghost town since the documentary has released. Also, I guess I should give this one guy the proper introduction he needed. This is Keith Hartley. He's pretty much the protagonist of our escapades into horror via Biofuse children's trains. He's gotten a lot of flack since the release of Shed 17 and was even used as a scapegoat for the media, and instead of vomiting, he switches it up a little. They're even using him as fake evidence to paint him as the bad guy.
Well, let me tell you, I am not.
I am totally to blame for what happened to Thomas and all his friends, and I'd do it again tomorrow.
I think Coolsville sucks.
And now we're introduced to an anonymous whistleblower, here to give us more facts about the dark history of the tank engine's life, who actually worked on the television series. And look at that, they turned some carts into biofuse experiments, but then, where's all the organs? Oh god, that's actually kind of disgusting. Not the organs themselves, just the lack of practicality. As the Sodor railways are shutting down, much to the dismay of these two trains, they are invited to go over to the Japan Railway, which is the only way that they can still work. However, under Japan's law, they aren't really seen as humans, so instead they get turned into whole-ass mechs that fight each other. Damn, this is cooler than anything WWE had to offer. And well, this train beats his friend to death. That's dark as hell, but I guess that's what I signed up for. Oh, nice overlapping there with the train face. And the British government? Well, they were doing even worse things. Opening up a secret lab, HIT Logistics was tasked with continuing the inhumane work that Sodor Island set out to do. Wait a minute, HIT? Like HIT Entertainment? And uh-oh, looks like Professor Owen Ruth, another protagonist in the original, has gone antagonist now as he is the head of HIT Logistics. What the hell, Owen? I thought we were friends. But this whole time, he just wanted to create something larger, something with more G's and more ones. Project G-1. Roll credits! Project G-1 was essentially a huge amalgamation of previously biofused cells, creating a ginormous super whip in which Owen can sell for profit. And with a lot of that, they accidentally learned how to clone some trains. One of them being the wife of- oh my god, again with these fucking weird faces. The first instance of cloning being truly tested on trains was with Annie Clarabel, who is the newlywed wife of Kevin Diesel. Seriously, what is wrong with this man's face? He was probably drinking, dude. They were both railroad enthusiasts who got married within weeks of meeting each other. Weeks. And these two decided to become biofused. They wanted to ride the rails, with Kevin being the engine and Annie being the coach. However, two coaches were made due to her cell splitting apart early within development. Annie and Clarabel were put into service right away to deflect any criticism, but it only made more. Where were the organs, you asked? Well, I think this image speaks for itself. Did she just... Did she just inside herself? Wait a minute. How do trains in the first place? Do they really need all their organs? I mean, they're fueled like normal trains with coal and diesel or whatever. But do trains need to retain their rectums? Are their reproductive bits also kept? Do trains have sperm? Maybe Nostalgia Critic was onto something on the Magical Railway video he did. Now Diesel and the Annie twins have to be shelved away, with one of the Annies being sent to Hit Logistics. Diesel had to choose which one was staying with him, and I don't think his final choice was too far-fetched. Now they're placed in a shed together where they get to look at each other for eternity. This could potentially be a fate worse than hell, and they start taking interest in the possible abilities twin trains might have. Eventually they find that trains have powerful links, both psychic and physical, to one another. And then Owen Ruth discusses the possibilities of creating a weapon that can adapt to any organic material that it comes across, killing whole populations of people. Poor Australia. That's what Project G1's end goal was, is to become that monster in Ruth's mind, and mentions that it needs to be controlled before release, as if it was released under no control, it would be disastrous. I wonder where this is going. And again, twins have links that literally go as far as humanly possible. So where this one train gets pressured, the other one can feel the sensation, and then he turns into the big monster. We eventually see people protest at Hit Logistics, wishing for the biofuse experiments to stop. So they destroy as much evidence as possible, even if that means murder. You really gotta feel bad for a lot of these trains, but then again, becoming trains were under their own volition. And a lot of these bastards were incinerated, and that's sad. However, one of the trains being incinerated was Clarabel, the clone of the stored away Annie. And this...
Annie, my love, what's wrong? What's the matter?
I can't go. No!
This is easily the most fucked up death these two videos have to offer. There's a lot of confusion. Confusion and delay. This makes Diesel furious, as the love of his life was just incinerated before his very eyes. Diesel has to get out somehow, and this is the most screwed up part of it all. Driving over his dead wife's ashes and organs. Oh my god, this is actually really sad. He bangs on the door of the shed. He's now out for blood and revenge. He created the Sodor Liberation Front, which makes a home for many trains at Sodor, free from humans. Anyway, British trains. They like Welsh coal because this is good. We get into the topic a bit more and we learn about the brain on drugs. Oh god, oh, why are we bringing this art style into this? Oh god, I mean, okay, nothing wrong with the animation itself, but like, it's really jarring. Anyway, as media pressure builds, Project G1 is placed on indefinite hiatus. So we get into Smudger, one of the other train tragedies. I should also mention that the music used in these videos are usually royalty-free, and some that are easily recognizable.
Okay, hey guys, post-editing Trey here. Most of the music is royalty-free because there are some original pieces. I just thought I'd give that credit.
Which adds its own kind of charm to the whole thing. I say this because up to this point I noticed that there's a ton of music that I've heard from SCP Containment Breach, which I think is really cool. I really need to do a video on that game soon. But before I add more on my plate, I gotta finish some of this shit. Anyways, back to Smudger, one of the trains whose wheels kept falling off the track, so instead of repairing them, they turn him into a steam generator, powering a whole ass mine. When the mine shuts down, they just leave him there, to be forgotten. This is really depressing. What is going on? Eventually, Hit Logistics find him, and because of his organic parts being there for so long, I guess they just sort of spread it out into the shed itself. So they lift the dude, and his life is put to rest by separating his train part from his shed part. Hit Logistics have gotten rid of as much evidence as possible, hoping people would think that the whole story was just fabricated and nothing ever happened. However, Cranky, the biofused crane, took a wrecking ball to the front of Hit Logistics, which kills him, a sacrifice that I'm sure he was more than willing to make, albeit a pretty painful one. And eventually, Diesel, the pissed off train, would drive his way into the lab and show the world what was really covered up by ramming into the container that had Project G1 inside. Now he's been unleashed and kills anybody and anything containing organic material, dragging it into his body. And there she is, running around the city, murdering all the protesters and army forces as they attempt to retaliate, but to no avail.
Gordon's alive.
You said it, buddy. All it wants are more cells to grow and spread itself, as it makes its way to find the remains of those biofused. The destination is Blue Mountain Quarry, which is where the monster believes the biofused cells are. Can we talk about this monster design for a second? It's actually really awesome. Essentially the culmination of everything disgusting, twisted thing we've seen so far, with multiple train faces on it. It's such a dope design. The military decided to give G1 what it wanted most, that being the last of Sodor's experiments. And out comes train number 1, Thomas Gertzi, I still don't know how to pronounce that, who had a heavy amount of operations and surgery to get to where he is now. Hidden behind doors, he is only now willing to show himself to the world where everyone can see the mutation experiment he's become. And Thomas attempts peace with Project G1, and at first it seems unsuccessful, until something inside G1 finally realizes the monster that it has become as he extends his hand towards Thomas. He even smiles. All of Thomas's friends finally reunited with train number 1. This is truly a beautiful moment, and admittedly tugged at a couple of heartstrings, as the friends of Thomas have now been reunited. No! Never mind then. I guess he was crushed by this giant steel ball, which was made up of a bunch of biofused remains. Project G1 is taken down as he separates from Thomas and falls down the mountain, as a confused, angry Thomas laments the death of all of his friends. This being the end of the pain we've all endured, as Thomas is now a tormented soul and probably would have been better had his father accepted his death of his son. Yeah, you know what I'm talking. Keith finishes up and praises himself for being one of the only friends that Thomas has never truly— Oh god, never mind. Oh, alright then. Goodbye, Keith. And so, the refuge created by the engines at Sodor Island secedes from the UK, and now Sodorland never has any humans come in, as it is a biofused exclusive island. Well, surprisingly, Keith is still alive and is undergoing surgery, as Owen just waltzes right in and takes him with no repercussions. Damn, what a badass. And now he's under the care of what remains at Hit Logistics and turns Keith into a biofused creation. This is actually kind of cool. You're seeing the back of the glass instead of the front of it like you did in Shed 17.
Well, Mr. Hartley.
Oh shit, it's Sir Topham Hatt. He finally caught up to Keith, smack talks him for the trouble and confusion and delay that he has caused, and now Keith gets the bad ending. Turned into one of the mindless cards we previously saw. The only biofused one in the room. Project G1 was another fantastic treat to watch, but I gotta admit, I'm pretty disappointed Diesel 10 didn't make us see— oh, never mind, here he is! His weird design always made sense for this universe. Well, what more can I say? Project G1, like the original, was just so much fun to watch. I'm not really sure if I like this one more than Shed 17. Don't get me wrong, this one's still great, but something about that original just stuck with me more. Maybe it was the pacing, maybe it was the series of events, maybe it was the shock and the fact that I'm desensitized to it all now, but still, this one managed to turn my stomach with moments like Annie's death. This one still managed to be a great sequel and brings even more gruesome carnage to the table, while bringing a conclusion to the arcs we saw in the first. I love this duology, it's actually really good. Seriously, for a concept as stupid as this, it's still really great to watch. So, good job, Paul's Vids. You gotta be proud of yourself.
If you are a boy and you see a pretty girl, let it go ding ding. If you are a boy and a girl and a boy, let it go ding ding. If you are a boy and you see a little boy, go ding. If you want gloves, 5 hands in love, hold hands, ding 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 ding.